Every day, many of us unknowingly give away our power, not with grand gestures, but with small, subtle compromises. This power drain doesn't happen all at once. It's quiet, disguised as politeness, people-pleasing, or fear of conflict. But over time, it shapes a life that's no longer truly ours. The first sign you're giving away your power is when you constantly apologize for things that don't require it. You say sorry for taking up space, asking a question, or just being yourself. This isn't humility, it's self-erasure. A Stoic understands that true strength lies in acknowledging your worth, not diminishing it to keep others comfortable. The second sign is when your sense of self is determined by others' approval. When their praise lifts you up and their silence breaks you, you've made them the keeper of your confidence. Marcus Aurelius warned against this, reminding us to stand firm in our own judgment and not let outside voices rule our minds. The third sign is reactive behavior, being led by emotions instead of values. A single rude comment ruins your day, a glance makes you question your worth, or one setback makes you spiral. A Stoic, however, knows that power lies in response, not reaction. The fourth sign you're giving away your power is allowing others to dictate your boundaries, or lack thereof. You say yes when you mean no. You tolerate what drains you to avoid being seen as difficult. But the truth is, every time you betray your inner voice to please someone else, you lose a piece of yourself. A Stoic draws lines with clarity, not cruelty. Boundaries are not barriers, they are definitions of what you will and will not allow to shape your energy. The fifth sign is staying silent when your truth needs to be spoken. Whether in fear of judgment or discomfort, your voice remains caged. Stoicism doesn't preach constant confrontation. It teaches thoughtful assertion. Silence is powerful only when it's a choice, not a result of fear. When you withhold your perspective to maintain peace, you often sacrifice your own. Another sign is overexposing your emotions to people who haven't earned your trust. Vulnerability is strength, but not everyone deserves access to your inner world. The Stoics taught us to guard our mind like a fortress. Not everyone should have the keys to shake your foundation. You don't need to suppress your feelings, but you must learn where and when to express them with wisdom. The seventh sign is blaming others for your emotional state. They made me feel this way. No, they didn't. You allowed it. This realization is not about self-blame, but self-empowerment. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When you claim responsibility for your inner world, you reclaim your power. Imagine this. Someone cuts you off in traffic or a friend forgets something important. Do you explode, stew in silence, or shrug it off? Your reaction reveals who holds the power. When you constantly react without pause, you're not in control. You're being controlled. Every trigger, every outburst, every emotional spiral, it means someone else is pushing your buttons. But here's the Stoic truth. You can rewire your response. Seneca once wrote, "A man is as wretched as he has convinced himself that he is." And that's exactly what giving away your power does. It convinces you that you're helpless, when in fact you're not. You are not at the mercy of external chaos. You are the gatekeeper of your own peace. If you've made it this far, chances are you're someone who's felt the weight of these patterns, and you're ready to break free from them. That's why I invite you to subscribe right now, not just for more insights, but to build a mental fortress with me. Every week we'll dive into Stoic wisdom that sharpens your mind, strengthens your boundaries, and restores your power. So, if you're tired of living on emotional autopilot, hit that subscribe button. And if you're already part of this journey, drop a comment and share one habit you're changing this week to take your power back. This is more than a video. It's a blueprint to reclaiming control over your life. Reclaiming your power starts with recognizing where it leaks. Look closely at your daily choices. Who are you constantly trying to please? What thoughts are you replaying that drain your energy? Most people are not victims of other people's actions. They are victims of their own lack of boundaries. A Stoic sees this clearly. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When someone disrespects you and you let it slide just to keep peace, you're handing them your power. When you say yes to something you deeply want to say no to, that's another withdrawal from your inner strength. Power isn't loud. It doesn't need to prove itself. Power is silent, measured, and unwavering. A Stoic doesn't explode. A Stoic doesn't over-explain. A Stoic simply knows who they are and stands in that truth. Begin today with one act of discipline. Protect your mental space like it's your most sacred resource, because it is. Don't explain yourself where none is needed. Don't argue with fools. Don't fight battles that do not concern your highest self. The moment you pause before reacting, you reclaim control. And the more you do it, the more powerful you become, not in the eyes of others, but in the mastery of yourself. Here's the final truth. When you stop giving your power away, you don't just protect your peace. You transform into a version of yourself that commands silent respect. People feel it, even if they can't explain it. You no longer seek validation because you've built a fortress within. That's the Stoic way. Strength not from domination, but from self-control. Remember, not everyone deserves your time, your attention, or your energy. These are currencies, and a Stoic invests them wisely. Detach from drama, withdraw from chaos, refuse to dance for approval. And when you fall, because we all do, don't collapse. Reflect, learn, recalibrate. That's how Stoics grow, not through perfection, but through purpose. Now ask yourself, where in your life are you still handing out your power like it's free? And more importantly, what would your life look like if you stopped?